What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Last week I had finals, so I wasn't really able to upload, and then I had to move out of my dorm, so hopefully we'll get back on track with the videos moving forward. And you might also notice that I sound a little out of it right now. That is due to insomnia. For some reason, last night I could not sleep at all. So I've been up for the past, I want to say 26 hours, and I feel absolutely awful. But I might as well record while I'm awake. So today we're going to be talking about some of the worst game reviews I've seen in a minute. I think gaming journalism is just dead. Because how else can you explain some of the worst takes every single fucking year in gaming? And the first example I'll use is one that everyone's heard about so far. It's the Mouse PI. IGN gave it a 6. It doesn't deserve a 6. I have not played it yet, unfortunately. But with the reasons they listed, it shouldn't get a 6. One of the big things the IGN review harped on, if you haven't seen it, is that the game about cartoon mice has too many references to cheese and them being mice. Which begs the question, what were you expecting from a shooter? This is a Steamboat Willie looking shooter. That's what it is. It's supposed to be a shooter. Obviously, they're going to make jokes about cheese. It's centered around mice. It's a mouse detective. They're going to make jokes about cheese. You could say, yeah, they might have done it a little bit too much, but the gameplay was still fun. The entire point of the game was gameplay, and for some reason you harped on the fucking cheese. Really? But don't worry, IGN has far worse takes coming up. If you haven't heard of the recent drama, IGN just gave a perfect 10 out of 10 to essentially just a movie. But it's not supposed to be a movie. It's supposed to be a video game, which has no gameplay. You might have already heard of it. I'm talking about Mixtape. Mixtape is this Edith Finch-like story about kids during, I want to say the 80s or 90s, and they're really just graduating from high school, and a lot of the game is reminiscing on their friendship and all the things they're leaving behind, and it's a cute game. It looks really good. It has some beautiful scenery, and a lot of the cutscenes look pretty good. But unfortunately, that's where all the compliments I can give to this game end. There's no gameplay. The story is good, but it's just so cringy, and the jokes just don't land. And I understand that a lot of people have nostalgia for that era. A lot of people do. So a lot of people are looking at this game through rose-colored glasses, thinking, wow, this is amazing, because I used to do those kind of things. But as someone that didn't grow up during that time, I can kind of see a lot of the flaws of this game, and they're really bad. There's no gameplay. Most of the gameplay is either holding W for 3 minutes straight and occasionally hitting A and D, or just moving your mouse around. That's the gameplay. And it's just so awful, because I wanted to like this game. I really did. I wanted to have that cool contrarian clickbait thumbnail where I'm like, oh, this game's actually really good. You guys are wrong. But I can't have that. It's just not fun. I didn't get any sleep last night, and I was trying to record gameplay for it for this video, and it was exhausting to try and get through not even half the game. I had to give up on recording gameplay footage because it was such a drag. Everything you do in that game is not fun. It just isn't. It's a great story, and there's great storytelling, but it should have just been a short movie. Or hell, make it just a normal movie. There's so much content and such a long story. It's a 3-hour game. You could have just made that a movie. Most of the game is already cutscenes, so I don't understand why they didn't just make it a movie. Oh, I might have forgot to mention, it's not just IGN giving it a 10 out of 10. It's almost every studio that does major general review critiques of games How the hell is this game getting a 10 out of 10 every time? That means there is nothing wrong with the game. There's nothing wrong with the game. Are you fucking serious? There's nothing to do. Like, you don't have to give me a Call of Duty shooter. The same publisher of this game made Edith Finch. I love that game. It was really creative. The story was amazing. And the music for the actual game, like Mixtape, was also amazing. So why couldn't they just focus on the gameplay a little bit? Why couldn't they make some of the fun of playing video games apply to the story like they did in Edith Finch? Edith Finch was fucking amazing. Amazing. So why couldn't we just translate that over to a different theme? And when you do try and make mini games, Mixtape, please do not include portions where you have a reminisce on the first kiss and you have a very graphic mini game about the tongues. Why the fuck is that in your game? Let's not pretend like that's just like, oh, a really quirky arts thing. No, that's just creepy, dude. Those aren't adults. Those aren't like 18-year-olds. This is like a high school senior reminiscing on her high school experience. How old do you think she fucking was? Why am I doing this as a mini game? I understand you want to add more content to your game. You desperately need to, but that was not the direction to go. That was like the worst direction possible. Like, I don't understand why you decided that one could make the cut for whatever fucking reason. I just don't understand. And then everything else is just spamming W, A, and D. That's the game, dude. And I just don't think that's fun. I don't think that's fun. I don't think that deserves a 10. If the gameplay is a 1 out of 10 and the story's a 10, it should be a 5. That's how fucking ranking works. Why are we ranking it so high? I do have a conspiracy theory about this game, though. I believe that the game was made for a nostalgia bait and they didn't focus on gameplay. They got all this licensing so people would get it and they would buy the game. And then they pushed it out to all of these game critics and paid them so that they would give them perfect 10s. Because I don't believe for a second that IGN, who gave Edith Finch arguably a significantly better game when it comes to actual gameplay, with an equally good story, an 8.8, but yet they give this game a perfect 10. Make that make sense. That doesn't. This is why I've been harping on the point this entire video that gaming journalism is just dying. It started back with Cuphead when they weren't able to fully review the game because they didn't know how to jump. They hired some imbecile who has never played video games before to review a video game and then couldn't get past the start level. Like, this is the state of it. That was the start of the downfall. We have now reached a point where it is so obvious that some sort of bribe was offered to give the game a perfect 10 across all sites. That just doesn't happen. Most great games that do receive a perfect 10 on IGN won't receive a 10 on all these other sites. And this just shows the true colors of the modern gaming industry, unfortunately. We are seeing time and time again that they're just going for cash grabs. Even the indie studios aren't putting enough effort into the actual story of their game. I understand that some people really like story-driven games. I like story-driven games, but I also like having a level of immersion where it feels like I'm actually controlling the character, where I can roam freely and I don't just have to walk from point A to point B, and then when I actually have to do something fun, the game pretty much does it all for me. You can play the entire first level of the game without touching your controller. You just leave it there for like 15 minutes and it does the entire first level for you. I don't want that. That's just a movie at that point. If I have to press 2 buttons every 3 minutes, that's not really a movie. That's more of like a Netflix, hey, are you still there? That's not the same, and I think that's ruining the industry. I really hate that they gave it perfect 10s and that they most likely accepted a bribe. I think that's incredibly shitty. But anyway, if you made it this far, consider dropping a sub.
this was one of the videos that I wanted to talk about. If you have any other recommendations, drop them down in the comments. And yeah, see ya.